Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Happy Thursday to you and your family. We're taking a look here, of course, at Matic network, see what's going on, and really just ultimately understand best practice, big picture, the whole 9 yards there. We're going to look at some previous data and, of course, help understand next steps and where this is going to go. But I can tell you that Matic's looking very good, very strong. There's a lot of positivity behind it, and we need to kind of, I would say remain optimistic because it's looking like it absolutely wants to continue to progress higher. So that being said, not a financial advisor, love teaching people how to trade. Hope you can learn something here today. I offer a trading academy, community, and signal group. If you're interested, CryptoCache.tech is a site, link in the description below, and check that out in your own time. Got a lot of folks coming over just to attend the academy right now because they're trying to learn as much as they can on this downtrend for Bitcoin, right? So we're overall in a bearish trend. Best thing you can do is train yourself to become a better trader. If you can maximize your benefit in a bearish market, then you're going to be phenomenally doing better in a bullish market. Okay, it's just that much simpler, you could say, because it's difficult, honestly, to navigate. And I actually offer signals as well in my trading academy, or sorry, community rather. And what we do is I provide you with trade signals for every single trade that I take, so you can see how to structure them effectively. And we have these moving target trailing stop losses that are working very good because we're working within a range on Bitcoin. It's a really positive situation. So again, check that out in your own time. I do offer discounts for military and third world countries. Message me directly if you have any questions there. So here's what's going on with Matic. Obviously, it's up on the day. It's done very well for itself in the recent past. It's basically doing a lot better on average than a normal coin right now. Okay, so it's up higher. It's not quite where QNT is at, but it's definitely doing well. It's just showing good consistency. And we'll talk about that here in a moment. And ultimately what we want to look at is a few things here. First of all, we bounced off 50 on the RSI. That's a pretty important sign. We can see it kind of bounced off this level here, this range, right, at about 52 cents. And then ever since, it hasn't slowed down or stopped yet. So all in all, looking very, very good here in that sense. We can see a strong Fibonacci retracement level here at about 38 cents as well. That's where the price action previously came down to bounce or consolidate for about 4 or 5 days in a row. Okay, so it's really awesome situation there. The price comes up to come up to this Fibonacci retracement level of 60 cents and then gets rejected right back down to 54. So you can see how it's working within these channels of Fibonacci retracement quite nicely. So ultimately, I would say that that's a very positive sign, because once again, we're making higher lows and higher highs, okay? Those are extremely important things you want to acknowledge, because it's just one of those things that helps you become more consistent when you can see these patterns forming. Because again, patterns continue to repeat themselves until they don't, right? But for right now, the pattern is higher highs, higher lows with an ascending trend. It's probably also moving concurrent in a lot of ways, or just broke above, I'm guessing, the 50-day SMA. Yep, there it is. Look at that. Price action came down to bounce right off the 50-day simple moving average, and the 20 is essentially working as concurrent with this trend line. Okay, so again, we're in very, very, very good shape right now. There's no reason why the price won't continue to progress higher. I think we also need to acknowledge here as well is that we have a fairly strong shelf here, right at about 68 cents from before. So there's a great chance if we were to break above 68 cents, we're going to see the price action continue much higher from there. And here's what we're looking for. Ultimately, what we want to look for is for the price action to come above, break above 68 cents, preferably on the one-day candlestick close. We got a one-day candlestick close at like 70 cents here today. That'd be a pretty much fantastic opportunity to get in. And the reason why I say that is because that's confirmation, because we've broken through that resistance level. Right now, we're still tentatively below it. But here's what's ultimately the best thing we want to see. We want to see the price action come up, break through that level. Once again, preferably with a one-day candlestick close. See the price come down, consolidate at this support level here at about 68 cents, because once again, the previous resistance established itself as a support, and then continue progressing higher. If you've seen my, Burger and or QNT, I just covered that one here today. It has that same exact behavior. It's pretty much identical to that, and it's doing that over and over, okay? We should likely see Matic break through this level, and if and when it does, we'll see it come back down to retest that level and then to bounce from there, okay? So I like to look for a breakthrough a key level resistance and then a solid amount of consolidation, just say somewhere in the range of 4 to 8 hours at that previous resistance / new support. All right, so again, these are all things I teach in my trading academy, but again, I just kind of like to reiterate that and help kind of confirm that we're looking really darn good here. So the macro for Matic is looking fantastic. Let's work our way down a little bit lower and see if this is a healthy continuation. These are pretty large candlesticks. I don't love that, but it is still nice where it comes up and over and down. and back up is effectively the staircase pattern that I look for. Okay, so that's more healthy than not, even though it didn't have enough time to consolidate, and we're probably a little bit on the overextended side. We can see we are at a 9 right now on TD sequential, so I wouldn't be surprised if the price either consolidates at resistance there and inevitably breaks, and or obviously comes back down to the next major Fibonacci retracement level, previous high, right at about 60 cents, and continues upwards. So preferably the price comes down to 62, 63, so we can average it down. What I'll usually do in situations like this is I'll take a long position. I'll take entry at 67 where it's at right now, have a second entry target at 50% of my overall position size, and come down to about 61 or 62 to get filled, average my price down to 63.5, something along those lines. Again, something to consider, not always a guarantee, but it increases your odds of averaging your price down while you're still getting in a position in case it takes off, right? Again, those are just things that I try to look for and things that I do in my signals. My community members can probably attest to that. They see me do that a lot. So taking a look at the 4 hour, we're testing 70 as well on the RSI, which is all well and good. But to me, 70 on the RSI, key level resistance here based on previous patterns at 68 cents. We shouldn't expect the price to break through there. We're at a 9 on TD sequential. We've got a lot of reasons why this price action shouldn't continue much higher, but it very much still could, because again, this is a healthy continuation, a lot of amplitude for lack of better terms, and it's still looking good. So just keep in mind, while there's a probability it could continue, the likelihood is lower, right? Not a tremendous amount, but it's definitely lower. I'd say it's a 40% probability the price action breaks through that immediately. Inevitably, I think it will, though. That's the thing. I think it, just depending on how it works out, we could see somewhat of a handle pattern, so to speak, where the price action retests that level, comes back down to a Fibonacci retracement, and retests it again. But generally speaking, we're looking pretty good here for it. Looking at the cloud here as well, we have all green lights to leave your long position open. No reason to close it. I do recommend, of course, in most cases, just taking a small 50% profit at this level if you are in the profit. And then, of course, adding to your position as the price comes lower if it does. If it doesn't, you still got skin in the game. That's essentially how I like to trade. So again, a lot of different strategies you could employ, but in this situation here, take profits while you still can, because you never truly know. Bitcoin is looking strong right now. I do feel Bitcoin will continue to progress higher, but Matic is, of course, a big question. We don't know. It's a question mark for the moment, okay? So again, just something to think about. So all in all, Matic's looking pretty good. There's literally nothing I see here as downside, once again, minus the fact that we are overextended on the 4 hour. And that really just tells us we could expect somewhat of a retracement in the next 12 to 24. So if Matic comes down a little bit in the near future, do not concern yourself with that. It would be perfectly fine if the price action comes down to 62, 61 cents. It'd actually be ultimate so we could retest that previous resistance and have some volume moving into that level, right? That's what we're looking for. Because there's not a tremendous amount of volume at this highest point, right? Obviously, we've got a decent amount at about 63.5, but generally speaking, a lot of volume is accumulating at that level, and obviously previous price points as well. So again, it's depending on how you look at it and how far in you zoom, but generally speaking, we're looking pretty darn good here for Matic. So minus it being overextended, I think in the general sense, I think the macro looks fantastic. And the midterm, essentially the 4 hour time frame, is telling us it wants to slow down a little bit. Again, be perfectly fine. I'd welcome that. Come back down to this major key level of support at about 60, 61 cents. So I'm going to be looking forward to a position closer to between 61 and 63 cents with a likely retest of 68 and a breakthrough there. That's essentially what I'm expecting. All right, well, I hope that you found benefit here, of course, and this made sense how I described it. I like to try to be very clear and concise if possible. These are all things that I work on with my community members, of course, so obviously if you become part of my community, just know you'll have access to myself and a lot of the resources that we're able to provide, because we all learn and grow together. We have roundtable discussions too. It's really cool. We just had one recently and we got a chance to talk about the state of the nation. We're going to go ahead and, over our next Fed meeting, which is like Tuesday, what day was that? That is Tuesday the 26th. We're going to meet again and kind of hopefully watch that together. Again, all good stuff there. Thanks again for joining me. Hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll see you in the next one. You take care.